live the life beyond the boundaries we set on ourselves, to live and to run boundless, to be inspired, to achieve, to overcome the mountaintop in our life. Embrace the journey, become boundless.
Hello, Live Run Boundless family. Welcome to another episode of the Live Run Boundless show. Today, I have the privilege to interview a person who I consider become a very dear friend of mine through Instagram in the trail running community and do conversation of some things we both going through in life or sort of. She has helped me out tremendous as I navigate some issue I have been going through lately with my health. But since I first started following her on IG and reach out to her and learn about her story, she has an intent to inspire me in the life she is living despite the hill in her life. Her life consists of being a trail runner, an ultra trail runner, and hiking. She completed close to 40 half marathons, 5 road marathons, 10 ultras, which included San Diego 50 miler and 100K, and all the endurance race series in San Diego. And I'm mistaken. When she's not running or hiking, she worked for the bank, the VP assistant or BSA secretary at. I probably got it all twisted up. So really deep stuff you do for the bank. But most importantly, she is a mother, an inspiration. She is the little warrior. So family, let's welcome Miss Carmen, the little warrior. How you doing?
Hi, how are you?
Good to have you on. Definitely, I know we've been trying to make this happen for a while, and just
Several months.
Yes, I know, but we're here, and that's the main thing. So, well, let's get started. So those that don't know you, tell us, the Live Run Boundless family, about your journey, just growing up with your family a little bit.
I was born in the Philippines.
Yeah.
Moved here when I was about 11. I have an older brother, a younger brother, and a younger sister.
Yes.
We've really just a boring family.
Okay, that's cool. That's cool. It's okay. It's okay. Yeah, everybody got different family.
I don't know.
So you move around a good bit here and there.
I did move around a lot.
Okay,
I've lived in like over 30 different places.
Oh wow. Okay.
Lived down Southern California, Northern California, Maryland, and Georgia.
Okay.
So I've moved everywhere.
So but California is where you spent most of your years. You grew up, mostly in California.
Yes.
Here, okay, that's Southern California. Okay,
Yeah.
that's cool. So growing up, was you after in high school, after high school, before you got to trail runner? Be a trail runner, running?
I wouldn't call myself an athlete. I was in track.
You was in track? Okay, yeah.
I was in track. I started with the 100 and 200 and realized I was not fast enough for that. I never finished last. I was just trailing behind. So my coach changed it to me training me to do the 400. And I did much better in the 400.
Okay then.
I did the 400 in the mile relay, and that was my main event. They'd stick me in the 4x200 if they needed an extra person. I don't think I can ever run that fast again. My PR for the 400 was like 58 something.
Okay.
So not too bad for a little Asian girl.
yeah, definitely. So what got you into it? I mean, what got you into it?
My older brother. He was in track, and anything he did, I wanted to do.
Okay.
Because they always said, no, you can't do that. You're a girl. So I was like, oh, no, I can do that.
Yeah.
So that's what got me into it at first. He did pole vault and other stuff. And
oh wow. Okay.
That,
that's cool, you know. And so it just you been just wanted just to prove people wrong. You don't want to, or you just want to show that you could do it. You know, you were capable.
Yeah.
Okay then. That's good.
And
so do you enjoy the process? Do you enjoy doing it? You know, being like running, doing track.
I like the sprinting. I hated when we had to do conditioning. Like a mile was too long. It's like, why do I have to run a mile or two when I just have to go once around the track? Like,
yeah.
And I don't know what happened to me.
Okay. Hey, you know, but you look back on it, I guess you can realize, you can realize why to do it, probably, you know.
Yeah.
Okay, that's cool. So but what got you into being a trail runner?
It was playing soccer. So I played soccer most of my 30s, never played it as a kid.
Yes.
But then, like, toward the end, I played for about 10 years. Towards the end was when I was diagnosed with rheumatoid arthritis. And I realized I couldn't move sideways anymore. Like my hips were bad. So, but I could still run forward. So it was like, my friend got me into, she's like, you can run a half marathon. Like, I can't run a half marathon. I've never I've never tried to run any distance. It was just like, even in soccer, it's sprinting. You run, you stop, you run, you stop. You don't just keep running. And she's like, you play 2 to 3 games in a row. you can run a half marathon easy. And I looked it up, and it said that like each game is about 3 to 5 miles. And in a soccer game, since I was a midfielder, it's like, if that's true, maybe I can do that. And so I got into road running. In 2013. And then I did 2012. In 2013 was my first LA marathon. And then after a couple of years, it got tougher and tougher on my knees. And a friend of mine was into trail running, and she told me to go join her. It was at Bulldog, and Bulldog down here in LA, it lands in August, which my birthday is in August, and that year it landed on my birthday.
Oh wow.
And so she's like, you have to do it, it's on your birthday. So that was my first trail race, was Bulldog, and I fell in love with it. It was a beautiful beast.
A beautiful beast.
It's well, trail running in August. Is just, the heat is just ridiculous. But it was in Malibu, so you could see the ocean, and part of the course you can see the ocean. I hated it and loved it, and I kept on coming back.
So the view of the ocean make it all worth it, to put yourself to the torture, the suffering.
I think because you can like look around, and it's not like road running where it's just so many people, and there's not really a lot to look at. But then in trail running, you could take it slower, and you can just kind of you walk up and you run down, and it's not, I don't feel as much pressure with trail running. So I think that's why I kind of kept with that.
Definitely. And just like I talked to one gentleman in interview, he's a legend, ultra trail runner world, where he say he not do like a short run, like maybe 5 miles, 3 miles, maybe not for him, like when it fast, but on the trails, run a long distance, that he best at, because and not about really to be running fast, in a short period of time, but just the endurance,
just enjoying being outside.
Definitely. So take us kind of do that process of the hill, the obstacle that you like with the rheumatoid arthritis. Ever seen that ever? And when in disguise, it was a blessing for you. You could say that. You could say that a little bit.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
I was diagnosed in 2008. No, 2010.
Yeah.
So October 2009, it was actually on Halloween. I was at work, and my manager at that time noticed that my legs were, she's like, your legs look really red and puffy.
Oh, wow.
I'm like, yeah, I'm just achy. And
Yeah.
at that point, I just thought it was like, okay, I worked 6 days this week.
Yeah.
I was the manager of the teller, so I'm always on my feet and walking around in the branch.
Yeah.
I was like, it's just that. The next, when I woke up the next morning, I couldn't get out of bed. It took literally 2 hours to get out of bed. I was like, I kept on closing my eyes going, no, this is a dream. I'm having a dream. I couldn't bend my knees. I couldn't bend my arms. I didn't know what was going on. I had to turn on, I figured out how to turn on my stomach, kind of made my way halfway off the bed until like I fell off the bed. and then I crawled my way up to push my way standing. And the first step I took, I just fell. My legs could not hold me up. And I'm like, did I eat something? What is wrong? What is going on here? Because it was, I've never felt anything like that before. And it was like, I didn't feel, I get sore from playing soccer and doing other things. And it's like, what's going on? I went to the ER, to the urgent care that day, and they said, oh, you're just having a flare of your RA. I'm like, flare of my RA? What are you talking about? And then he looked at me and he's like, I think you need to see your doctor. I'm like, and then I went home and I looked it up and I'm like, oh, no. And I went through about 6 months of different tests. They kind of knew that was what I had, but they wanted to make sure like it was nothing else. And they diagnosed me in 2010, in May of 2010. And by that point, I was okay. It was like I didn't have the same pains as I did when I first had the flare. I couldn't even, like, to drive, I would have to use my hands to press on my knee so that I could step on the gas. And like looking back, I'm like, maybe I should not have been driving. But it was because I felt okay. I thought, okay, maybe they were wrong. Maybe I'm cured. Then a few years after I got diagnosed, and I was kind of like, I felt like achy a lot, like, but I thought, okay, I'm just getting old. So maybe that's what, I played soccer and I ran track, and that might be why everything is just hurting, And then my younger sister got diagnosed as well with rheumatoid arthritis. And that was when, like, okay, maybe. And she described the same symptoms and the same things happening. Her knuckles would get so swollen that it looks like they're bruised. And that would happen to my knees. My knees look like they would look like I bumped them, but it's after I ran. After I would run, they would like have these bruises on them, but I didn't fall or hit anything, but I guess from the swelling, they end up bruising. And I was like, darn it. I was like in denial for the first couple of years because I can walk, I was okay. So it's like, I can't be sick. Because I would see pictures of people and I'm like, that's not me. I'm not sick. And then, when my sister had it, it's like, okay, maybe I am. It was one of my daughters had asked, because I have it and because my sister has it, and it's predominantly women that get it.
Okay.
Are they going to have it as well? And that question is kind of what changed a lot for me.
Yes, yes.
It was like, okay, I can't just be, I need to show them it's going to be okay.
Yes. Yeah.
And yeah, because I have two daughters, and
Yeah.
so they're in their 20s,
Okay.
and it's like, okay, it's possible.
Mm-hmm.
And I want them to know it's going to be okay. So that's kind of where it started.
Yeah.
I didn't have a plan of how that was going to be, how that was going to look. It was just like, okay, I can't just sit here. I need to do something.
Yeah, yeah.
So that's kind of how it started.
Okay.
I didn't start taking medications for the first 5 years because I felt that as long as I was feeling okay and I didn't, I can manage the pain and the symptoms, I must be okay. Yeah. But then they did X-rays, and they said, no, they can see the joint damage starting in my fingers and my hands and my lower back. Yeah. And so they put me on medication. The first one I had a bad reaction to, where I started losing my eyesight. And so they stopped me that quickly. Wow. And luckily, I've not gotten back 100%, but definitely it came back. Okay. But not, I started wearing glasses shortly after that. So it did leave some damage. Yeah. So the first ones they gave me were mild. It's a very mild chemo. Yeah. Yeah. So the chemo is supposed to, they're immunosuppressants. Mm-hmm. Since rheumatoid arthritis is autoimmune disease, my immune system is fighting itself. Yeah. It thinks that my joints are bad. So then it's like, okay, let me destroy your joints. So then so the medications that I'm on suppresses my immune system because my immune system is overactive. Yeah, yeah. So then that's I didn't realize I needed it until I got on some that I was like, oh wow. I remember the first run after I started giving myself shots. Yes. After I did that, I remember my first run and going, this is like the most pain-free run I've ever had. Wow. Like I was like, do I have to stop running? I wanted to keep running because I've not felt that good in a long time. Yeah. So I've had to change my meds a couple of times, but luckily they've found a mix. They always find a mix for me. Like it'll stop working after a while, and then they'll find something and try something new. And luckily for me, I've found something. Oh, that's good. That's good. Wow, yeah, that's challenging, and that's something you continue to have to deal with, or find a way to be able to manage, and keep going. Yeah, so. I think I like the challenge. Yeah. You're like, okay, that's good. So how have you adapted and adjusted your life and climbing that hill, which is RA, in your life? That was the hardest thing, I think. Yeah. Someone once told me that I needed to let myself go through the grieving process. Yeah. Adapting, because I was like in this. It wasn't that. I think I was in a denial phase because I was able to manage the pain. I must be okay. Yeah. But then I started noticing, things just got harder and harder to do. Yeah. I'd have bad days where I needed both of my hands to brush my teeth. I have to put my, elbows on the counter and move my head because I couldn't lift my shoulders up or hold the toothbrush with one
Yeah.
hand.
Yeah.
There's I think the biggest thing is I've learned to ask for help.
Yes.
At first I wouldn't.
Yeah.
I would like struggle opening things, and
Yeah.
only a couple of people knew what was happening, so they just take the bottle for me and without me asking, and open it for me and just hand it back to me. Or opening bags. I cannot open bags like potato chips.
Oh wow. Wow.
It doesn't work.
Man.
I can't hold it. I can't
Yeah.
grip it.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I've learned to like I have my bag is full of stuff.
Yeah.
Like I have little clippers or I have rubber bands so that I can open things up.
Okay. Yeah.
I've learned to just change my expectations as well.
Yes. Yes.
Because at first it was a lot of people with running, it's a PR, right?
Yes.
You just gotta get faster, gotta get better.
Yes.
And that's something I had to change. And it's like that's not gonna happen. It's almost like I have a PR with my new body every year, because as just things just start getting harder. So I've definitely gotten slower, and it's like, how can you still do it? I don't know. I still do it because I'm there. I'm always the last one. There's one time I was picking up the race flags because I was the last one out there.
Oh my God.
I'll pick it up for you. It's I think trail running helped.
Okay.
Because from going from road running to trail running, it's very different. The road runners are very much about time, how fast they can get done, versus trail runners is just they just enjoy being out there. It's less about the speed. And the more and I think they're different people also. It's just I don't know how to describe it.
That's okay.
I feel that being slow is okay.
Yes.
In that in the trail running world.
Yes.
It's I finished, and that's like my only goal now is to
finish.
Well, sometimes I don't, but I try.
Okay. That's okay. You make an effort. Despite the challenges, you're doing it. And you find a way, to try to get it done. So,
Yeah.
So, to take us a little bit for your first race you had done, when you first know they have RA, take it to that process.
The first race was kind of funny.
Yeah.
So July, I think it was around July, I decided, okay, I'm gonna give this running thing a try.
Yes.
August, I did my first 10K.
Okay.
And that went really well.
Okay. Awesome.
I ended up with I got second in my age group.
Nice.
And I didn't realize there was such a thing as like age group prizes. I just kind of laughed after the race. And it was because I didn't know how to pace myself.
Yeah.
I would run and then I'd walk. I'd like run because I was a sprinter. Like I didn't know how to just keep the speed.
Yeah.
I guess it worked for a 10K.
Yeah, we definitely. Yeah, 10K. That's funny.
But that's I realized that I can't do that for anything longer.
No. You'll burn out quickly.
But yeah, I got that, and so my first long race was a half in a couple months after that.
Okay.
And that was in October in Long Beach.
Yes.
And mile 11, I started crying. I didn't realize I was going to start crying. It just, I saw the mile marker.
Yeah.
And just tears started falling. I'm like, no. And I couldn't stop. And I guess at that point I realized I was going to finish. Like I didn't, I think going into the race, I kind of didn't think I was going to finish. I was just going to, try, see what happens. I wasn't training with anybody. I was just kind of following different things. I couldn't even run a mile without stopping for the first, it took a few weeks. It's like, okay, I'll get to that stoplight without stopping and get to 2 streets without stopping. But yeah, it took me a while to like figure out how to run at a slower pace and not sprint. But yeah, I remember that race, and that week was actually World Arthritis Day. Was a couple of days after that race. And during that race, I found an arthritis organization. They're out of Long Beach, and they do research for arthritis. And I'm like, I think I'm meant to do this race. Okay. And then I actually ended up being an ambassador for them.
Nice.
I would do races for them, and I and did that for a few years. And doing that, I got quite a few people, in the RA world starting to run or walk. Like they would send me messages that they went, or they got around the block, and that was their goal, and that was big for them. Or some people, it was they signed up for their first 5K.
Okay.
And then when I started doing marathons, I got more and more people like, how are you able to do that? And it's like, very slowly. You have to not. What I told one person before her first half marathon was, my race, my pace.
Yes.
You can't look at other people and like get sucked in. They're not feeling what you're feeling.
Yes.
You being out there is much different than them being out there. So you need to like not look at them. And if you keep on looking at how everyone else is doing, you're gonna get discouraged. Because you're gonna see that they're moving forward and it looks like you're moving backwards. And it I think helping people kind of helped me.
Okay.
Because then like they would send me pictures of their races and their first half, or one even did a marathon. So it's like, yay, excited for them. But it's definitely I remember my first race in mile 11. And I didn't realize I was gonna get that emotional. And I've done that race a couple of times. See, I'm getting emotional. I don't know. I think it just, I didn't think I could do it. And it was like, oh, I'm going to do it. And I was feeling okay. And I wasn't crawling. I pictured horrible things. But so it's that half was probably, it was more emotional than when I first did my full marathon. So everyone told me, you're gonna cry when you finish. You're full. And the only reason I cried when I finished my full marathon was my daughters were at the finish line.
Yes.
And they said, they're proud of me. And that just, I lost it after that. But it wasn't about the race. It was about like, the roles were reversed. This whole time I'm going to their games and cheering them on. And this time around, it was the other way around where, they had the big signs, "Go Mom, go."
That's awesome.
That's still like one of my favorite pictures. Like every race I would go after that one. I had that picture of the three of us with their signs at the finish line. And, when I would, when things would get bad, I'd look at their picture and just do my little shuffle.
And it just you just be an example for your daughters, not to quit, even when it get tough, just continue to keep going, find a way, to continue to just live life, so
I think we all figure out a way. It might take longer, and sometimes there's just tougher days, but we'll figure out a way.
Yeah, definitely. That life is figure out a way, how to live our best life, that running a life or wherever, so definitely. So why ultra running? Why push your body through the suffering? What you're going to do, right?
Why not? It was supposed to be one and done, like all my other races. It was like, okay, I think I can still go another 10K after this marathon. I'm like, I think I can handle that. And since the time is like, okay, I have 10 hours. I think I can do it under 10 hours. The first one didn't go so well. About mile 12, there's it was part of it was out and back, and then you went to a different area, and I saw you had to climb a rock to kind of get up and over and to the other side. And I knew on the way back that I was going to hurt my hip. Like it was like there's no way for me to get down from there and like be okay. It just my body doesn't bend that way. And it hurt my hip trying to get down from there. And the smart thing to do would have been stopping at mile 12. Because that meant, that's still about 20 miles to go after mile 12 and a 50K. But no, not me. It was about almost triple digit heat that day. It was out in Anza. So it's, there's desert parts of that race. My watch died, my phone died. I had no idea how long I had been out there. I had to keep asking like the aid station, how far until the next aid station, how much time do I have? And they tell me, I'm like, okay, I think I can go. So I go to the next aid station. Toward the end, I knew, I was like, I think everybody has passed me already. I don't know if I'm gonna finish. I didn't know like how much time I had left. I got to the last aid station. They told me there's only, there's two people behind me, and I only had, I think it was an hour and a half to get back, and it's about 3 miles. I'm like, I can do 3 miles in an hour and a half. Oh gosh. I during the last 10 miles, I think I sat on that desert floor, like, why am I doing this? The two people that was behind me caught up to me, like I was, when they caught up to me, I was sitting on the ground.
Oh, oh wow. Wow. Yeah.
I just, I had it. I was like, no, I haven't seen one for, it seemed like hours. And one of the girls goes, do you want a piggyback ride?
Oh,
I'm like, no, I'll be okay. And so I got up and
yeah.
they were running a little bit and I tried to run, but no,
Yeah.
my hips were done. I couldn't
Yeah.
run anymore. And
Yeah.
I kept on like having to stop.
Yeah.
And I could hear the cheering. I was like, okay, I can't be that far
Yeah. Yeah.
because I could hear them at this point. And I ended up being dead last. 4 seconds left under like the 10-hour cutoff.
Wow. Wow.
And I got this plaque for being the biggest loser.
Oh
And I'm like,
no.
whoa, this trail running thing isn't so bad. They give plaques to the dead last person.
Oh my goodness. Wow. Wow.
And so I'm like, okay.
Wow.
And my friend was at the finish line.
Yeah,
and
yeah.
her face was that that never scared me like that again kind of look, and that I'm proud of you, like the mom look.
Yeah.
She said that she wanted to go out there because she knew something must have happened. I
Yeah.
shouldn't have taken that long.
Oh,
And
wow.
she was getting mad at the people because people were like, yelling and cheering and saying, finish strong. And she's thinking to herself, that is strong. She's putting one foot in front of the other. That's a strong, like she could tell by my face that was like all I can do at that point. But I think after that one, I was like, I can do better than that,
Yeah.
So I tried again.
Yeah.
This time it was Oriflame.
Okay. Yeah.
Down in San Diego.
Yes.
It was super windy that day.
Yeah.
They actually started taking people off the course.
Oh, wow.
Because the storm was rolling in.
Yeah.
It was supposed to happen like I think later that night or the next day, but it started coming in that day, and like the winds were picking up, and I'm like bracing myself as I'm walking up, like crawling up the hill. I got to the last aid station. I was still feeling great, and I had about 3 miles left. I missed the turn.
Oh no.
It was so windy that I was holding on to my hat and holding on to like myself.
Oh wow.
I missed the turn. I did not realize I missed the turn because we started at when it was dark. So I'm like, this kind of doesn't look familiar. But it was dark when it started. So I'm like, maybe I just don't remember. So I kept going. And then I'm like, I don't remember a lake. There was not a lake.
Oh man.
I am lost. I am going to be that missing hiker on the evening news tonight.
No.
And I was like, okay. It started getting really cold at that point. I only had one layer on, and I didn't bring anything extra, and my headlamp had already died, so I didn't have light, and I'm like, oh, I am screwed. And I saw a light. I'm like, okay, did I die because I see a light? There's flashing light. And there was cops and paramedics that were helping out mountain bikers. So I got lucky. I climbed over the fence, and I remember the cops staring at me like, where did you come from? I was hoping you could tell me. I'm like, I'm supposed to be running in a race. So they like pulled out their iPad and they're searching, for where I could be going. And they're like, oh, you're like 2 miles off course. And I was gonna go back and run, and they're like, no, you're not going back out there because at this point you could see the clouds moving. It was like the storm was gonna start like any minute. And I'm like, no, I want to go back. So I the race, one of the people, the volunteers that was picking up people and taking them back to the start had seen me. And so they had stopped and they picked me up and they took me back to the start. And the guy that was one of the guys that were racing that was in the car, he's like, you look strong when you passed me. I'm like, it doesn't matter because I got lost. So that was my second race.
Yeah.
So like, maybe the gods are telling me this ultra thing isn't my thing. But like I said, I like challenges.
I see that. Oh, man.
So I tried again.
There you go.
About 2 or 3 weeks. 2 or 3 weeks later, there was another 50K. It was in Lone Pine.
Okay.
It was Lone Pine, and then they went up to Whitney Portal, and then you ran down Alabama Hills.
Yeah.
That 50K turned into like a 55K.
Oh, wow.
It turned into about 35 miles. The campers decided they didn't want the runners running through their campground. So they changed the flags and moved them around. So when we thought we were at the last aid station, the person at the aid station said, you have 3 miles till the last aid station. Me and the other runners like looked at each other like, 3 more miles to the next aid station. Isn't this the last one? And they're like, no.
Wow.
I'm like, I'm at mile like 28. What are you talking about?
Okay.
So I wasn't prepared for another 6 miles. Out there, we just walked. These group of guys that were not prepared either. We were all just whining together for the last 6 miles.
Wow.
So it's like, okay, maybe I shouldn't do this anymore. But I kept going. I think I realized that with ultra running, it's as long as I can get done in the time given, it's a win.
Okay.
I'm never gonna finish the top 10. I'll finish at the bottom 10 and I'm happy with that. And it's I think I'd rather try things and say I tried it. And I know at some point I won't be able to do it anymore. So it's like, okay, hey, if it doesn't work, it doesn't work. But I don't want to look back when I can't do it anymore and say I should have tried. Knowing that there's times where I can't, like I can barely walk and they're like wobbling around. It's like, okay, I'm gonna try when I feel good. And if so it's I think I like the community of ultra running. It's very different.
Yes, it is.
They take care of each other. It's not about like even the elite. They don't leave you behind. Everybody kind of watches each other. They make sure that if you're training with them, they make sure that you're there. They end up doing extra miles when they go with me because I'm so slow, so they run back, check on me. But it's I found that I fit that world more, even though I'll always be I'm a proud dead last finisher. I've done it several times. And I'll keep doing it until they say you really need to know. But I'll probably be that like 9-year-old lady that you see still going.
Oh yeah, 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 definitely. That is inspiring. That remind me like a couple weeks ago. I read it was a birthday run for my coach, and one of the ladies was running. She 80 years old. She well known in the running community. Here in San Diego. She was 80 years old. Still getting the inch. I mean. And so I decided like to run with her for a little bit, and just really just conversate with her. And I just her just I mean she had every reason that you don't have to do it, but she had a reason to do it, to be out there, regardless how slow she may have been with, but it's what keep her going, even at 80 years old,
Mm-hmm.
to be out there, to keep moving, to keep trotting along, and not being just and just not only physically but mentally also to be out there, and so that you
I
could
think
do
it
it.
helps to finish
Yeah,
you feel like you're accomplishing something still.
yeah.
And
So definitely, it's a good for not only for the body, also good for the mind, also. Yeah,
yeah.
yeah,
And
yeah.
I'm glad I discovered trail running
Yes,
because it's what they say, dirt don't hurt.
yes.
So I truly believe that now because
Yeah, yeah,
I ran with people that
yeah,
run road, and I told
yeah,
them no, I
yeah,
can't do it anymore. And I'd
yeah,
read like I think I can get about 3 or 4 miles on the road and be okay.
yeah, yeah.
But after that,
Mm,
I feel it.
you
I
feel it,
I
yeah,
can
yeah,
go like 10 miles on
yeah.
the trail
The
and
trail,
be
yeah,
okay,
yeah,
but
yeah, yeah,
3 or 4 miles on the road, I feel my
yeah,
knees and
yeah.
hips and
Mm, mm,
ankles.
yeah, yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Um, I think I already touched on about this your family. You had your sister also been
Mhm.
diagnosed. Uh, but what does it mean? What does it mean for you to have the support of your family do all this?
It's not that they don't support me. I think it's because
Yeah, yeah.
I don't ask for help. So
Okay.
it's like when that question,
Yeah.
it's hard to answer because it's not
I
that
understand. I understand.
not that my family doesn't support me. I
Yeah,
think
but you don't have
it's
to
hard
manage it.
it's hard for me to lean on somebody
Uh,
because if they're not there,
okay. I understand.
how am I gonna
Yeah.
handle it,
Yeah. Yeah.
so it's like I need to be able to do it on my own
Yeah.
and figure out how to
I understand.
do things on my
Yeah.
own,
Yeah.
or if I
Yeah.
have to adjust something because I
Yeah.
can't
Yeah.
lift something, or
Yeah.
I need to figure out how
On
to
your
do it
own. On your
by
own.
myself.
Okay.
And it's not that they're not there or
Yeah.
they don't want
Yeah.
to help me.
Yeah. I
It's
got you.
more it's more me that
Yeah.
just
Okay.
I am a little too, I don't know.
Yeah. So but you just learning, but you just
Yeah,
learning how to adapt and adjust. Yeah. So this
that's
process. Yeah.
it's it's a full life of adapting and adjusting.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
once you think you've adjusted,
Yeah.
something starts
This
hurting
adjust.
and you
Yeah.
have to adjust
Just
again.
again. Yeah. So.
Yeah. And
Yeah.
I have so many different types of like rollers and
Yeah.
massagers
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
cushions,
Yeah.
heating pad and ice packs and
Yeah. Yeah.
patches. And
Yeah.
yeah.
So.
I use I use my hydration pack
Yes.
as a like a sling when my
Yeah.
shoulder starts hurting. So I
Mm.
tuck my arm in so that my
Yeah.
shoulder doesn't move as much.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
So you kind of have to.
Wow.
I figured out. Wait, I don't know why I put myself through that.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's like I could stop, but I just
Yeah.
don't want to. Not
Yeah.
yet.
No, not yet. Okay.
Let's
But
not yet.
that's okay. I get it. It's something. Maybe your soul is something that really just keep you going. It's something that you need. It's a part of you. Regardless of the pain or what you're going to do, it's something that it's something that I know. Yeah. Sometimes it's hard to explain. Sometimes I guess. No. But yeah. Like telling somebody who injured got an injury. I know the disturbance still when they keep going. The spike. Like people who do the ultra. The spike. They being sleep deprived. They're going to want to finish it. The spot. Yeah, they puking. They still trying to find a way to get it done. And just we're going to suffer, but we're still going to want to do it. Yeah.
Yeah. As just I think it's been beautiful journey.
Yes.
The ultra running and hiking.
Yeah.
Like last year, I finished the 6-pack of peaks. So I did Mount Wilson, Baldy.
Okay. Oh wow.
Cucamonga Peak,
oh, wow.
Ontario.
Oh man.
San Bernardino and Gorgonio.
Oh wow.
And so they were tough.
Oh man,
I had to stop a lot.
Yeah.
I had to take they got to a point after a couple of hikes with me, they got to a point where they would find a rock and they'd point it to me because they're like, that rock is calling you, because they knew I would need to take my pack off and sit down.
Yeah.
And then I'm glad we all went in different cars.
Yeah.
Because the first people were probably at home eating lunch by the time I reached the peak. But it's I'm glad I did that. Yeah. I don't know if I can do that anymore. It's this year I started developing high blood pressure, and I tried to go up to Baldy, and I made it to the notch, and I could tell that I started getting a headache, and I went and felt dizzy, and it was the kind of headache I would get when my blood pressure would rise. It's just this it's a different headache. And so I turned around and went back, and looking back, it's like maybe that was my year. Last year was my year to do those hikes, and that was that. I am going to try Baldy again on Monday. We'll see if that happens. If not, I do push myself, but I'm not suicidal. There's a difference between pain and your blood pressure and your heart,
of course.
No one ever died from pain. But you start messing with other things.
Understandable.
So it's you kind of find balance. So we'll see how Monday goes.
Okay.
But I've kind of made a little pact with myself that I will see how I feel and turn around if I need to. But hey, we'll see. If not, I already did it. I've done it. I've even made it up to Gorgonio. So
there you go.
I would have loved to do Whitney, but I don't see that in my future now. But hey, I've done a lot of beautiful mountain hikes.
So just definitely you just live life with no regret. I mean, you try, you make the effort, you make the attempt.
Mm-hmm.
And that and somebody say you did try, you did make an effort. And so and that's the biggest thing probably. So with that, how have you, maybe your coworkers or your job, how they supported you in this journey in your life?
Not all companies are supportive.
Yes.
Looking back now, I could have probably filed for a harassment against my last job.
Yeah.
I was managed out of there because I had, when the pandemic started, my doctor wrote a note right away that I should work from home.
Yeah.
Because of all the medications I'm on, I basically have no immune system. So me getting sick, it's like 1 year I had the flu.
Yes.
It took 3 months. I went through a couple of rounds of antibiotics that didn't work. They gave me the prednisone pack that didn't work. I ended up with bronchitis and that wouldn't go away. So that's just, the regular flu that just kept going and turned into something else. And this was something bigger. And that job was like, no, we don't do that. We don't let people work from home. But they let one lady work from home because she had cancer. So it was like, so you're picking and choosing who's high risk. They said that she had a letter from her doctor. I'm like, I had a letter from my doctor. What makes her letter different than my letter? And I ended up leaving that company. But my company now is great. That's awesome. My manager is awesome. And one of the times I had my infusion, I had to get on a call when I got back home. I was working from home. I had to go get on a video call. And he called me right after the call. He's like, are you okay? You can take the rest of the day off if you need to. I'm like, no, I'm okay. And he's like, no, you didn't look okay. And I was like, oh, you could tell. And he said, you were just quiet and just kind of, and he would call and check on me. And he said that even though we are going back to work in the office, that anytime that I feel that it's getting a little too much, I could work from home. So he's very supportive of that. That's awesome. He was actually my old boss when I first started getting in medications. So he knows, like, when he hired me, he knows my history, and he's okay with that. So that relieves a lot of stress. Because then it's not something I have to tell them, because he already knows. Because it's always that, when do I tell them I have to take one Friday off a month? I do my infusions on Friday so that if I don't feel well, I can take the weekend to rest. But then, like, some people are gonna see, hey, she schedules her doctor appointments on Fridays. But I have a reason to do that. It takes a lot out of me. But so him knowing, and him being supportive, and him not like checking up on me and everything, it's a big relief. Because my job is stressful. I am in charge of getting our bank, I'm in charge of the audits. So when our bank gets audited, I need to make sure everything is good. So that world is just it's a little stressful. So, but it's good when you have the support at work, because you're at work a big chunk of the time. And so it's definitely love that I have a great support system, and the staff that works for me. I've known them at other banks as well, so they know, and they check up on me too. So it's nice.
Yeah, that's great. That's great.
But yes, not every company
No.
is like that.
Yeah. But it's not, unfortunately, because a lot of companies don't really understand, or I mean, they maybe understand, maybe, the company demand priority or whatever, But it's good that you've got to work with a company to
Yeah,
have a person, people that understand you.
yeah, I think when people hear rheumatoid arthritis, they just think arthritis,
Yeah.
and that it's just pain, and it's not
Yeah.
it's not anything big,
Yeah.
and they don't realize, the medications and the there's other symptoms than pain, that there's the fatigue that is worse than the pain, because there's things you can do with pain, but when fatigue hits, it's like drinking a cup of coffee, you'll fall asleep after. Your body just can't function. It's kind of like when you have the flu,
Yes.
and you can't even sit up. That's basically me 75% of the time. Like that feeling of being drained. Like this whole time we've been talking, I've been leaning at my desk because it helps me stay up.
Yeah, I understand.
But it's I don't think that's something you probably even noticed, because it's I've found ways to do things where people don't notice I'm doing something because something hurts, or because so it's I've learned.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh no, just they're tough, not challenging, but you still keeping it going, Yeah, so you just run that, go up that, climb that hill. Yeah, uh, so what keep you going through all of this? The pain, the body ache, the will, the heart to get back out to the trails. What keep you going? Despite all this, where you going?
My daughters.
Okay.
My daughters. So my daughters are 26 and 28.
Yeah.
So as they get older, I feel that it's more important for them to see that even though there's times I struggle, like there's things you could do to make it work.
Yes.
I think when I don't want them to, it's not that I don't want them to see me struggle.
Yes.
I want them to know that it'll be okay even if you struggle. Because like I said earlier, when my sister was diagnosed, they had asked me if it will, like, they'll end up with RA as well.
Yes.
And I think that's what pushes me to keep just going one foot in front of the other, and kind of, it almost makes me feel like I need to be tougher, just so that if they do get it, that they won't be scared.
Okay.
That they can, it'll be okay. Yes. And I think that's what keeps me going, is that I want them to know that even if they do end up with it, it'll be okay. That it's something that they'll be able to handle. So, and I hope it doesn't happen.
Yes.
But if it does, they'll be okay. They're strong girls.
So, what do your daughter think right now? What are thoughts right now of you doing what you're doing? But you know that you're going to all of this, but you're still going out there hiking and all that. Yes.
I don't know why, but they think I'm the strongest person they know. And they think I'm the toughest person they know. My younger daughter did end up doing a race with me. It was a 10K. So, but she's like, yes, I checked it off my bucket list. I ran with mom.
That's great. That's great.
But it's what was the question?
Well, okay, that's okay. That was cool. Okay, but you answer already. And you answer already. I asked you like, what your daughter think of you right now. What do you think of you during this whole process? Yeah. But yeah, you answer.
Yeah,
you answer. Yeah.
They are proud of their mom. And they think their mom is strong, and I look at them and I think they're strong. I think they're tough, and in this world, it's a crazy world, and it's a tough age to be, but they're both managing and they're on their own, and
there you go.
I think they're the ones that are strong. I just put one foot in front of the other for a very long time.
So what brought you the greatest joy so far along the journey in your trail running, and how has it helped you in life?
Showing people trail running. So during the pandemic, like during last year, most of the people I know run road, and a lot of the some of the areas we used to run on, it was closed, but the trails were open. So showing them trails and hear it to the top, and all I hear is like they're just like in awe of what's at the top of the hill and the view that they see. And then they're up for the next adventure. Then I sing new people to trail running. That's probably and introducing people to new trails. It's probably the greatest joy.
Okay, so introducing people to new trails. Okay, that's great. So one more question I would like to ask: what's your boundless motivation and thoughts in a few words?
Live. Choose to live and not just exist.
Okay.
I think too many of us just exist. We kind of get stuck in our day-to-day routine, and we go to work, we do what we're supposed to do, and people don't really try anything. I want to look back in my life and have memories of all the things that I tried and all the things I done, and that yes, I lived, even though it might be painful. I lived. But I don't want to look back at my life and think, oh, what TV show did I like watching? I want to look back and think of all the adventures and feel that I lived, and not just the same thing just existing. I think most of us just choose to exist. Well, not choose to exist. I think we just exist.
So just live life with a purpose, embracing life, not taking our health for granted, not taking what we could do for granted.
Definitely not. I did not realize one day I was wake up sick and be sick the rest of my life. And that sometimes that hits me hard.
Yeah.
That there is not, I'm not going to get better. This is my life.
Yeah.
But then other times it's like it could be worse.
Yeah.
I see people with my disease that are on wheelchairs or walkers or canes, and it's like, okay, sometimes I have KT tape holding every part of my body up, but I'm still able to get out there, so I'm very grateful that I'm still able to do that.
Definitely, you know. And a lot of people probably would not able to do and would try or dare to do what you're doing, you know, or when it's, know what you're going to do.
Sometimes I think, like, after the fact, I think about it and think, maybe I shouldn't have done that. Because sometimes I think that probably was not the smartest thing to do, or or I could have found an easier thing to do.
But life is not easy, you know. I know. So we gotta So we gotta, you know, go through the valley, the hills and valleys of life, you know, just like running.
Well, life is like, climbing that mountain. And you have the tough times, then you see this wonderful view. Then you feel more tough times. But, there's just ups and downs.
Absolutely. But thank you, you know. And thank you for the time, you know, for
you asked me to tell the story of how I got
the little warrior. Yes. Thank you for reminding me about that.
I just remembered. So Little Warrior is what my running group calls me.
Okay.
One of the ladies that I run with is a nurse. And several years ago, I went from a pill that I take to having to give myself shots. And I didn't know how to do that. So after one of the runs that we did, she said, bring your stuff with you and I'll show you.
Okay.
And so she showed me how to give myself a shot. And after that, she started calling me Little Warrior. And it kind of stuck. And to this day, a lot of them don't call me Carmen. They call me Little Warrior.
Little Warrior.
They call me Little Warrior. And that kind of stuck. I didn't realize it was going to stick. I thought it was just going to, die. But they still call me that. And some people don't even know my name because I get introduced as that. So that's where it came from. It's one of my running friends. She was the one that taught me how to give myself shots. So that's. And she has a nickname for everybody. I'm glad mine is not as odd as some of the names.
I like the name of the Warrior. That pretty see you pretty well. But you're a warrior, and what you're doing, and just going. It's a battle,
You're going through similar battles.
So I have to get better, but I don't know. But right now, I mean, right now I just every day, I know. Hopefully I continue to get better, I hope. Hopefully I'm get back work too, but so I don't know, but definitely during that rough patch, it definitely been helped me, so I thank you for that, for allowing me to just I don't know, release. I know. So I don't know.
I think every now and then we need someone to vent to. That understands. Not everybody really understands pain.
Yeah.
Because it's not something you can see.
I know. It just.
So it's sometimes it's hard to explain to people that it's a lot more than just like it messes with your head.
Yes.
And it's not just a physical pain. There's a lot that goes through with it, and people don't realize, like, if you break your leg, you're hurt for a short period of time. Right. And then you get over it.
Yeah.
But when it's something that's chronic, it starts messing with your mind, and it starts, the depression and all that. And you just go up and down these struggles. And it's nice when you find people that have similar struggles that you can just vent to, that they'll just listen. And I think we all need that because it's not everybody will understand. Not everyone will get it. So I'm glad I can help.
Yeah. Thank you. Thanks for that. I think you have a story that will inspire others, definitely. Just I see you on Instagram, see you out there, but knowing that at the same time you're gonna do some pain,
Yeah.
ache,
I actually haven't been around on Instagram very long. And
okay.
I've gotten a couple of messages asking if I'm okay, because I haven't, if I don't post for a little while, they start wondering if I'm okay. And I just
understand.
I've been struggling. It's it's gotten tougher and tougher to do miles. And I've gotten slower and slower. So I'm in that grieving process again, to just, and I got to deal with that before I come back out there and say, I'm okay.
Yeah, understand.
But I've definitely noticed that. I don't know if I can even call it running anymore. I walk. Okay. I put one foot in front of the other. I don't. It's okay. I think I told you it's a shuffle.
Yeah.
It's a little bit faster than a walk, but I'm just gonna do. But it's been hard. It's gotten hard. There's people that don't want to run with you anymore because they know that they're gonna have to wait, and I can't blame them for that. It's I have a couple of hours. They're in a couple of hours they can do 10 miles. To my couple of hours I can do 4 miles. So I'm glad that I've found different groups of people, because then when I'm feeling well, I can go with this group or that group. And it's nice that there's a lot of different groups out there that trail running world is very accepting. So I can always find someone else to go with, depending on how I'm feeling. There's groups that are more hiking and walking, and then there's groups that are more running. So it's great to have that choice.
Yes, it is, and that definitely. But continue to do well,
Thank you.
So and it just I think it's just been time with me and the Live Run Balance family. Yes.
It took us long enough.
I know.
Our last minute, can we change this?
I know, but hey, there's a reason for everything, So it's I don't know what it is. Sometimes I don't understand, but hey, we here, Hey, we here. So definitely.
And one day we'll meet in person.
Yes. One day we will. We will make it happen. Definitely. But again, thank you. And also thank you, Live Run Balance family, for joining me on another episode of the Live Run Balance show. Live a life beyond the boundary that you set. on yourself. And Carmen, the little warrior, have put the boundaries, or what she able to do, you know. Yes, she go beyond the boundaries of what she able to do, and with that, she aspires, and I'm inspired by that. I'm sure other people are too in the trail running community, outside the trail running community. You know, the rheumatoid arthritis. Other people who are going through that, what she going through, and she inspired. And she inspired those also who dealing with rheumatoid arthritis. I might say, continue to put one foot in front of the others, or the other. And so, thank you for your time. Thank you, Little One Bond family. And until next time,